This is a degree 100 bomb shooter Paragon, and today we're gonna see how strong this guy is and how far it can go by itself. Alright, so we have the Ballistic Obliteration Missile Bunker Bomb Paragon, which released actually yesterday, so this is fresh off the press, guys. So we are gonna test it out today. I usually like seeing how strong these Paragons are. This is a unique Paragon, by the way, as you guys might have tried it before, because it works in a very interesting way. I think Ninja Kiwi learned a lesson in making Paragons, by the way, in that I think after the release of the NG Paragon, I think that they learned their lesson, because this thing is essentially a combination of every single tier 5 bomb in one, as you would expect. I mentioned the NG Paragon because the NG Paragon did not have the best release, let's just put it like that, because it didn't exactly have all the components for the tier 5, so they had to kind of, add the overclock ability after that, but it kind of worked out at the end. But this one, they're not making the same mistake with the Bomb Shooter Paragon. I mean, this thing has it all. So we're starting off kind of deep into free play mode. This is around 145. The Bomb Shooter Paragon, I bought all of these Shimmer Wizards. The reason because I bought them is because this is one of the two Paragons in BT6 which does not have innate camo. So we're gonna need to reveal all of these DDTs in order to pop them, and we don't exactly have a lot of info on this Paragon, but let me tell you guys what we're working with so far. So first off, you guys can see that we have the clusters from the bottom pad, so you get an explosion, and then all these clusters have their mini clusters. The explosion looks really cool, and oh my god, it's actually leaky. This is crazy. 145. Wait, did they go into like the mana shield or what? Oh no, the attack speed on this thing is so sad. This is a degree 100, guys, come on. Yeah, so as you guys can tell, the attack speed on this thing is absolutely atrocious. It shoots a homing missile, which is kind of different than, I guess, all of the other pads of the bomb shooter itself. When the missile hits, it does basically everything. So it does a lot of damage to mob class balloons. It also does a knockback. It does a stun. So you guys might be able to notice it here on the left side of these ZOMGs. I mean, it's not even attacking them, but they're getting stopped in their tracks, which is really good. Now the thing is, oh, that's a fast ceramic. The ceramic's gonna leak. Oh, when we get the bomb blitz, there we go. We have the bomb blitz passive ability. So yeah, it's basically a combination of all the tier 5s. That was obviously the bomb blitz passive ability getting triggered. It's very interesting how this Paragon works. Oh my god, we're gonna leak again. This is insane. But okay, so this time around we don't get it because it's a cooldown. Yeah, so I kind of went in ready for this specific video because, as you guys see, we're starting with we're starting with 100k lives. And so I guess, I mean, the Paragon would have lost by this point because we did leak some lives. But okay, let's give it a little bit more runway. This is exactly why I brought so many lives into this run. Now, before we continue with the video, I wanted to mention that Ninja Kiwi is currently running a 5% discount on everything that you guys buy in the web store, but you have to use my creator code, and that is code EatAndRead. So whatever you choose, just make sure you use code EatAndRead and check out here. You're gonna get 5% off of your next purchase. Alright, so let's try and play around a little bit with the targeting, because I know that the targeting is closely connected to the ability. So if you have the bomb on strong, the ability is going to get launched in the strongest balloon. Now the way that the ability works is it has this kind of a pursuit thing type of a targeting, which follows along, kind of wipes the balloons that it encounters, it pushes them back, and then eventually explodes at its main target. So let's try it now. Let's set it on strong. I'm going to use the ability. Yeah, as you guys can see, it goes through everything and then it explodes at the bat. And actually that was a pretty strong explosion because it destroyed it completely. Oh, there we go. We didn't leak. I thought we were going to leak some of those ceramics, but no. Yeah, so very slow attack speed. I mean, it's kind of holding its own. We have not lost any lives. We're at plus 25 mana shield, so that means that the past 5 rounds we've not leaked anything. Actually 6, because I think there's like 1 buffer round. And let's see how many attacks we're going to need to pop the bad layers, because again, it attacks very slowly, but it does a lot of damage when it attacks. Let's follow this first one. I think it's like 4 attacks so far, maybe 5. Oh yeah, there goes the first one. Okay, and the second one in a second. It's not even going to target the second one, by the way, and it's gonna pop it because the AoE with the explosion is super big. And these clusters, they seem to be doing a lot of damage as well, so this first batch should pop pretty soonish. Yeah, there it goes. Oh no, we triggered the bomb blitz. Okay, but it's very interesting how it works, the new bomb blitz. This actually gets transferred onto the tier 5 bomb blitz as well. This is a new mechanic introduced in the latest update. But essentially, if you leak a balloon that would get fully destroyed by the bomb blitz ability, you will not lose any lives, and that's why we still have plus 25 mana shield, but we did trigger the passive Bomb Blitz ability. That is a very neat thing, and I'm not exactly sure how that's like, is it gonna work in Chimp's mode, or how is this thing gonna work in another game modes? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not 100% clear on how it works, but let's use the ability. So it's still one-shotting the bad layer, which is good to know. I mean, we're kind of attacking bats which have tens of thousands of HP, right? Because it's around 154. So we know that this ability is pretty strong by itself. When we got the early access, I was kind of thinking about what this thing does and why it's attacking so slow, and my reasoning is that it's attacking slow because you want it leaking lives. Actually, you don't want to have it, this thing behave maybe like a Boomer Paragon with the seeking projectiles, because the passive Bomb Blitz ability is one of the things that makes it super strong. It wipes the screen essentially. It works, by the way, exactly the same as the tier 5 Bomb Blitz, right? It's just I think it's a bigger threshold. It just does more damage. Now, can you play off of leaking lives? I mean, maybe. Would you want to do that? How would you play off of leaking lives? Maybe you get the Zeely. I mean, that's the only thing that I can remember currently. See, something that's very interesting about this Paragon is that usually you would lose to to like a big Bloon, like it's gonna be a bad Bloon that your degree 100 Paragon is not gonna be able to handle, right? Your Paragon would likely lose to like a bad Bloon that it cannot pop. Like, let's say you take the the degree 100 Boomer Paragon, right? If you lose to something, it's gonna be a super strong bad Bloon, and eventually it's gonna leak, or the insides are gonna leak and it's gonna pop too slow, and that's gonna be it. The thing with this Paragon is that is not what we're gonna lose to. I don't think we're losing to any bad Bloons anytime soon. I think what we're losing to, and I guess if you want to be a little bit more strict with the rules, we've already lost to small ceramics just being too fast. So I think we're gonna reach the point at which we're gonna need to start overclocking this guy, is what I'm saying. Actually, this is looking kind of messy, so let's go on strong. Let's use the ability. Oh, the ability has a huge AoE, by the way. We use the ability on one of the bats, but all three of them pop. That is crazy good. Oh my god, this guy's gonna slap versus bosses, isn't he? I mean, it depends how much damage it does. Okay, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but so far against bad Bloons around 174, this thing is nuts. All right, but let's see if we're gonna leak a small Bloon, and I'm very curious to see what is the threshold for the passive Bomb Blitz ability, because for the Bomb Blitz, the tier 5, the threshold is, oh yeah, there we go, there was a ZOMG. Okay, so the threshold for the Bomb Blitz tier 5 is BFBs, but for this one it's ZOMGs that get instantly wiped. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's like an HP limit to this eventually, like it doesn't wipe all ZOMGs right forever, because that would be kind of strong. But still, wiping ZOMGs on 178, that's pretty good to me. I don't know, I mean, how strong is this Paragon? How do you judge how strong this guy is? Because obviously he's not meant to be used alone, like he's meant to be used with other towers and our Paragons. So for a test like this, to see how far a degree 100 can get, I'm not exactly sure that this is the right way to try this thing out, but I guess because we do it with our Paragons, it's just a fun thing to try out. But this is definitely not a fair test for a Paragon like this. We need to test it versus something real. So I guess there's gonna be a boss event. Oh, there goes our Bomb Blitz, by the way. Yeah, there's gonna be boss events, and obviously this thing is gonna be enabled, so we're gonna be trying that thing, as soon as possible versus some boss. Hopefully it's Bloonarius, honestly, because he has just a lot of HP, and we're just gonna do a lot of damage to it. All right, so 194, the lives have reached the 95k threshold. And something I've started to notice is that the Moab Assassin ability is, I guess, it's not the Moab Assassin, it's called the ISAB Missile. That's a reference to ISAB. That's a very cool thing that they added in the game. But yeah, the ISAB Missile is not enough to one-shot bad Bloons anymore, something that I noticed. So these guys are damaged, so I'm not gonna use it on them, but we're gonna use it on the next round. And are we gonna leak anything on this one is the question. I mean, everything is kind of close to it, so I don't think that these missiles are gonna be missing. It's just if the attack speed is gonna be enough. Oh, there we go, we actually do leak some. All right, so let me show you guys. Let's go on strong. Let's use the missile, and then look at this thing. It's not popping it anymore. Oh, no, it's actually surviving by a tiny amount. Alright, so I have absolutely no idea, by the way, how much HP these bats have, but the fact that we're not one-shotting them anymore, it tells us that, the overclock is gonna have to come sooner rather than later. Alright, so 199, we are still somehow sitting at the 95.8k threshold on the lives. Around 200, I actually think this one is not even going to be difficult for it, right? This is what this guy does. So like two abilities going to be fine? Okay, they're not. I mean, the great thing is that the AoE is big on these abilities, so if we use it, obviously they're going to do some damage to the surrounding Bloons. So let's go like this, and yeah, let's just keep it going onto this 45 bad. But yeah, we do have around 200 pretty easily in the bag, I'm pretty sure, but I think we have to kind of start overclocking it now. Yeah, some crazy fast DDTs, and with our insights, and I think we're going to see the Bomb Blitz, unless we get some lucky clusters that are gonna stun, which we do seem to be getting. I mean, I'm just gonna keep dumping the ability off cooldown at this point. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, there goes the bombless ability. So we're in the 200s, and I'm pretty sure we have to start overclocking this guy. So let's just see how much of a difference the overclock is going to make. So obviously I want to have this overclock running, you know, on full uptime. Oh my god, it's still leaky. What? 95.6k lives now. No, even the overclock is not saving this tower, guys. It's a lot better for sure, but no, I think it's just a little bit too much, yeah. Oh no, we're leaking a lot of lives, guys. We're going at the 91k threshold currently. When do we say that this thing is officially lost? Like, we go below the 90k threshold? Because the way that we're leaking, actually, if the bombless ability is off cooldown and it can destroy the balloon, it just does, and you don't leak lives. But if it's not, and you leak something else, then that thing can, you know, just end the run right there. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what is the highest round for this Paragon, because if you want to be very strict about it, like, this thing leaked as soon as we bought it, if you guys remember at the start of the video. But if you want to give it a little bit more leeway, then all it depends on is just the amount of lives that you have and the amount of lives that you can generate. And because we started with a lot of lives, we're ready for this. I mean, I guess we're at 10,000 lives down in like the 70 rounds that we're trying. Yeah, we're just leaking lives at this point like crazy. These ceramics are way too fast. So I think we can safely say that if you're playing off the Bomblet's ability and you have a nice life generating setup, maybe around the 200s if you're running this Paragon solo. But if you have a lot of support towers just stopping everyone, then the highest round is, well, gonna be super strong. But come on, at that point you're not just testing the Paragon, you're just, you know, you're doing a setup and you're playing the actual game. So I don't think that would be fair. So yeah, I think we're gonna end it off here. I mean, 214, this is pretty respectable. This is a very strong Paragon. I think the next thing we're gonna be trying like 100% with this Paragon is going to be versus a boss. So hopefully it's a fun boss this week. We're definitely gonna check it out. We're gonna be buying the highest degree possible and see how it performs. But that is going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please don't forget to use code EthanReed in the Bloons store, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.